Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome, dear students. This is Biochemistry 2 course, Chem 342 code. Today we are having lecture 45, and our today's topic is hormones of hypophysis. This is your teacher, Dr. Naeem Khan, Department of Chemistry, CUS. Outlines for today's topic include: we will discuss about the hypophysis description, the pituitary gland structure, the pituitary gland details, their nomenclature. This all will be covered. We will go toward the structures, the different zones of the hypophysis gland, and the important secretion, and especially we will talk about the anterior lobe, that is called stylis or adenohypophysis. Need to have a start. Hypophysis literally means undergrowth, and this name was given because of its location, which is below the brain, is an undergrowth. This gland is also known as pituitary gland, and pituitary is actually pituita, which is from Latin, which means phlegm. And actually, this name is misleading because it was believed in the past that this gland is responsible for the secretion of mucus or phlegm. But now this name is misleading because it is not concerned with the secretion of mucus or phlegm. But anyway, from historical point of view, this gland is well known as pituitary gland, and as it was believed in the past that this is responsible for the mucus or phlegm secretion. This is oval-shaped gland, reddish gray color, and having the size of 10 millimeter in diameter, and its weight is about from 5 to 0.6 gram, which is very small in males, and zero point 0.6 to 0.7 gram in females. Again, hypophysis is oval-shaped gland, reddish gray color, 10 millimeter in diameter, and its weight is 0.5 to 0.6 gram in males and 0.6 to 0.7 gram in females. This is located in the brain in a depression of skull bone, and that is known as coelateria. Coelateria is actually a depression of skull bone in which this gland is located. Hypophysis hormones is actually governing the secretion of other endocrine glands that include thyroid gland, adrenal gland, and gonads, and that's why this gland is also known as master gland. I repeat, hypophysis gland is known as master gland, and this name is given because it is having a governing role over the secretion of other endocrine glands, which include thyroid gland, adrenal gland, and gonads, and that's why this gland is known as master gland. Secretion of almost all pituitary hormones, they are controlled by the hormones or factor released by the hypothalamus. All secretions of hypophysis, they are under the control of factors or hormones released by the hypothalamus, and that's why these are you can say under the control of secretions from the hypothalamus, and that's why it is called hypothalamus releasing hormones or hypothalamic factors. Here we can see the important factors from the hypothalamus which are controlling the secretion of pituitary hormones. For example, here we can see thyrotropin, which is a thyroid stimulating hormone. This hormone of the pituitary gland is controlled by the thyrotropin releasing factor TRF. Similarly, corticotropin, which is also controlled by the corticotropin releasing factor of the hypothalamus. Follicle stimulating hormone of the pituitary gland is controlled by the follicle stimulating hormone releasing factor of the hypothalamus. Similarly, others, luteinizing hormone, prolactin, growth hormone, and others are also controlled by the releasing factor from the hypothalamus. So, first three sentences, three lines. Secretion of almost all the hypophysis hormones are controlled by the releasing factor from hypothalamus, and they are called hypothalamic factor or hypothalamo-releasing hormones. Here we can see an overview of the overall hormones and control of the hypothalamic factor. This is hypothalamus, and hypothalamus is releasing so many factors, and through these factors, the secretion of the hypophyses are controlled. These are the secretion of hypothalamus, and these are performing different functions, and they are controlling other thyroid gland, and that's why, because of this application, this gland is known as um, master gland. Going to the structure of hypophysis, basically it is composed of three lobes, and one lobe is the anterior lobe, one is the posterior lobe, and in the middle there is a small lobe which is called intermediate lobe. The anterior lobe is actually the vascular portion, and that is having the largest lobe, that is known as pars distalis or adenohypophysis. This is the anterior lobe, which is the adenohypophysis. The intermediate lobe, which is a little less smaller lobe, and that is called pars intermedia, which is actually a smaller part. And the posterior lobe, which is the neural lobe, that's made up of nerves, and there's pars nervosa or neurohypophysis. While all the three parts secrete important secretion, but we must note that the anterior lobe is the most important one, which is releasing important hormones, and that is essential for the life. Coming starting the pars distalis, that is the anterior lobe of the hypophysis. This is the largest lobe, which is making up to 7% of the hypophysis body. And on the basis of the histological standing, actually from the histology analysis, three types of cell can be identified here. One is the acidophilus. Acidophilus or the alpha cell, they are the cell which are stand strongly with the acid dye, that is acid fusion, and secrete growth hormone and prolactin. One type of cell in the adenohypophysis are the acidophils or alpha cells, and they secrete growth hormone and prolactin, and this is the zone. These are the cells which are actually stained acidic with acidic dyes, acid fusion. Second type of cells are the basophils or beta cells, and these are the cells which are stained strongly with basic dyes in a lean blue, and they secrete luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone and thyroid stimulating hormone. The third part are the neutrophils or chromophobe cells, and they are the cells which are not stained either with the acid dye or with the basic dye. They are not colored, so they can be distinguished, and they are believed they are catalyzing with the ATCTH hormone. Post and distalis is continued. This part is produces hormones which are typically known as tropin or tropic hormone. Basically, these hormones are under the control of the hormones from hypothalamus. That's why that's called tropin or tropic hormones, and they are actually controlling the activities of other endocrine glands. That's why they are so named. About 30 tropin hormones are secreted by the anterior lobe, and four of them are very important, which we will discuss. And one is the thyrotropin, which is also known as thyroid stimulating hormone TSH. Another one is the corticotropin, which is adrenocorticotropic hormone ACTH. And third one is the gonadotropins or gonadotropic hormone, which is GTH. And the fourth and the last one is the somatotropin or somatotropic hormone STH, which are also known as growth hormone represented by GH. Starting the first type, thyrotropin or thyroid stimulating hormone. And this is made up of two chains, actually two chains of amino acids are there, which is not thyroid stimulating hormone alpha and thyroid stimulating hormone beta chain. The two chains are made up of, alpha chain is actually made up of 92 amino acids, while the beta chain, thyroid stimulating hormone beta, is made up of 118 amino acids. And they contain 8 to 9 cysteine residues with disulfide intra-chain linkages and no interchain. Actually, there are chains of disulfide within the chain, not among the chains. So the 8 to 9 cysteine residues are there, but these chains are actually responsible for the intra-chain, not interchain linkages, making linkages with the cysteine of its own chain. Release of thyrotropin is controlled by another hormone from the hypothalamus, which is called thyrotropin releasing factor TRF of the hypothalamus. Thyrotropin or thyroid stimulating hormone in general stimulate the activity of thyroid gland and enhance the rate of certain reactions such as removal of iodide from blood by thyroid, which is very much important by the thyroxine synthesis, conversion of iodide to thyroid hormone. Thyroid, we know that thyroid gland is having two important hormones, T3 and T4. So iodine is packed from the blood, which is by the activity of thyrotropin. Release of hormonal iodine from thyroid is also under the control of this gland, this hormone. Second type of adenohypophysis, thyrotropin or thyroid stimulating hormone. This corticotropin is a straight chain. This hormone is a straight chain polypeptide of 39 amino acid. Here we can see starting from serine up to the phenylalanine, there are 39 amino acid, and this shape can be traced in the GLJ and biochemistry book. Thyrotropin, thyroid stimulating hormone, is actually in general has a stimulatory effect on the hormone producing capacity of adrenal cortex. It means that this hormone is actually controlling adrenal cortex secretion, and this leads to the accelerated gluconeogenesis, which accompanied retardation of protein synthesis. Actually, gluconeogenesis means the synthesis of carbohydrates from the non-carbohydrates component, that is from proteins, from lipids. So this hormone is actually accelerating the synthesis of carbohydrate from non-carbohydrate residues, and this phenomenon is actually accompanied by the decrease of the protein synthesis too. It has intrinsic melanocyte stimulating activity, and this is causing darkening of skin. With this hormone, if high concentration, the skin becomes dark because of small intrinsic mechanism for the melanocyte activity. Over-secretion of ACTH actually result in the Cushing's disease, and this is under the control of corticotropin releasing factor, which is also released from the hypothalamus. Third type is the gonadotropin or gonadotrophic hormone, which is GTH of the adenohypophysis. This hormone controls the development and functioning of the gonads, which remain dormant until the age of puberty. So this hormones control the development and functioning of gonads, male in 6 spots, and this is remain dormant until the puberty. 3 gonads are known. One is the follicle or follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, luteinizing hormone, LH, or interstitial stimulating hormone, ICSH, and the third is the leukotropic or leukotropic hormone, LDH. Follicle stimulating hormone is the glycoprotein which contain galactose, mannose, galactosamine, sialic acid, fructose, and uronic acid. Actually, glycoprotein is something in which carbohydrate is linked to protein. So this hormone is composed of so many carbohydrates along with protein part. In human females, it includes the growth of Graafian follicles resulting in the increased weight of ovary. Because of secretion of this hormone, the ovary size of female becomes actually increase in size, and this is actually an indication of puberty. In males, however, FSH promotes the spermatogenesis. In male, this FSH is actually promote the spermatogenesis, which are the cells which are making sperms. It is stimulating the development of seminiferous tubules, and thus leading to the formation of large number of spermatocytes, which is developing the sperm. FSH is controlled by another hormone, that is hypothalamus releasing factor called follicle stimulating hormone releasing factor, FSHRF. So like other hormone, this is also under the control of the hypothalamus releasing factor, FSH releasing factor. And this is related to the male and female sex characteristics, especially in female it is causing the increase in size of the ovary, and in male it is synthesizing the spermatocyte, which is leading to the formation of sperm. Next one is the luteinizing hormone or interstitial stimulating hormone. This is actually a peptide hormone which lacks tryptophan but has a high concentration of cysteine and proline. This is a uniqueness in its structure that it has no tryptophan. We have 20 amino acid in protein, but in this hormone is not having tryptophan but containing comparatively more cysteine and proline. Each molecule of it is containing 10 glucosamine and 3 galactosamine residues. These are additives, additional structure in females. This hormone is concerned with the ripening and rupturing of ovarian follicle, which later on transform into the corpus luteum. And we know that corpus luteum is actually broken down after the end of each cycle in each month. So this hormone is actually maturing that corpus luteum wall, and finally it is rupturing after exactly 20 to 22 days, depending upon the health. It also induces the development of interstitial cells of both the ovaries and testes, and therefore called interstitial cell stimulating hormone. This hormone is actually named interstitial cell stimulating hormone, and the reason behind this is that because it actually induces the development of interstitial cells there of the ovaries and testes. The secretion of this hormone is also like other hormone under the control of hypothalamus, and the releasing factor is luteinizing hormone releasing factor LHRF. Third one, and the C is the lutotropin or lutotropic hormone LTH. This has a broad spectrum effects on the most versatile of all adenohypophyseal hormone. This is the broad, it is known as broad spectrum hormone of the adenohypophyseal, and that's why it is the most versatile. It is actually a peptide hormone with 198 amino acids and having 3 disulfide bonds are between 4 to 11, 58 to 173, and 190 to 198. Here we can see that actually this is folded and unfolded, because if there is a linkage between 58 and 173, it means this molecule is folded upon itself. This differs from FSH and LH that it contains no carbohydrate. This is a simple protein, and this promotes the growth of mammary glands and lactation, the release of milk from mammary glands, and the development of mammary gland at the age of puberty. This is the function of this hormone. It stimulates the glucose uptake and lipogenesis. This is synthesis of lipid is accelerated by this hormone, and also the absorption of glucose from blood is its function. Along with the androgen, it causes the development of secondary male sex characters. So the characteristics which differentiate male from female are actually the development of by the activity of this hormone too. Coming to the fourth and final type, which is the somatotropin or somatotropic hormone or growth hormone, GH. This is a very well-known hormone. This is a protein of 190 amino acids and having 2 disulfide between cysteine at 53 to 164 and 188 to 188, 181 to 188. Here from this structure we can also note that this is folded and refolded because the bond is between 53 to 164 and 181 to 188. This is also a single strand protein molecule. Unlike other androhypophyseal hormone, the various effects of growth hormone are not due to the influence of other endocrine glands. Actually, this is not producing effect due to the infection of other. Actually, it is having direct infection effects. GH is having direct effect on various tissues to produce diverse effects, and that's why it is not a tropic hormone. It is actually direct hormone, not tropic. Uh, Growth hormone is well known for the following metabolic activities. It increases affect the rate of skeletal growth and gain in the body weight. Body weight is gained because this is related to growth, and with the age increase from 4 to 5, 5 to 8, and 10 to 15 years. Actually, body growth takes place, and that is because of the growth hormone. This controls the production of fat and its deposition in the liver. So the deposition and the synthesis of fats in the liver, that is under the control of this hormone too. And this prevents the fall of muscle glycogen in fasting condition, and it stimulates the milk secretion and growth of mammary gland. It develops the mammary gland at proper time, and also the secretion of milk from the mammary gland after the delivery. These are the function of this hormone. Once again, the two important textbooks, they are West and Todd textbook of biochemistry, and another book of the GLGN Fundamental of Biochemistry from India. Both are recommended, all are requested to rather directed to go to these books and highlight each and every point we discussed today and develop a thorough concept. If you have any confusion, we may discuss next time. From to do, I will say thank you. Allah Hafiz.